I haven't seen any Caitlin Clark fans talking negatively about JuJu Watkins and that injury or wishing it on her or anything like that. I wish I could say the same for fans of the original WNBA fans when it comes to you-know-who.
Times the amount of viewers. She is responsible. I'm not joking when I say this. She was responsible last year for like 30% of all viewers and all attendance. And you might be saying, oh.
JuJu Watkins was on fire. The USC standout had been tearing through March Madness, proving why she was one of the best players in college basketball. Every move she made seemed effortless until disaster struck. In a high-stakes game against Mississippi State, Watkins went down hard. The crowd gasped. The arena went silent, and suddenly, USC's biggest weapon was sidelined. But here's where things get interesting, because what happened after her injury sparked even more conversation than the fall itself. It happened fast, too fast. Watkins had been on fire all season, leading her team with an unstoppable drive, proving time and time again why she's one of the most promising players in women's basketball. But in a single moment, her season took a terrifying turn. The impact was brutal. The reaction? Pure disbelief. But while most fans were focused on the heartbreaking injury, others started asking uncomfortable questions, making statements that make no sense at all. Was this just bad luck, or was something more sinister at play? Because the timing couldn't have been worse. And some people believe it wasn't an accident at all. The moment the news broke, support flooded in from fans, players, coaches, and analysts. But then Caitlin Clark entered the conversation. The WNBA's most talked about prospect made a public statement, sending her well wishes to Watkins. Seems innocent enough, right? Maybe not. Because Clark's comment wasn't just a simple message, it sparked a firestorm of speculation. Some saw it as genuine, but others weren't so sure. Some even said it was absolute hate. The rivalry between Clark and Watkins has been brewing for months, and suddenly, in the wake of this devastating injury, Clark's name was making headlines yet again. Coincidence or calculated move?
Somehow, some way, people that can't stand Caitlin Clark are now turning this into something it's not.
Before the injury, JuJu Watkins was making waves, threatening to take the spotlight from names like Caitlin Clark. And let's be honest, Clark isn't exactly known for sharing the spotlight, especially from how talented she is. While many see her as the golden child of women's basketball, others aren't so quick to praise her. She's been at the center of controversies before, accused of playing into favoritism and media hype. So when Watkins, a player poised to challenge Clark's dominance, suddenly went down in a high-stakes game, people started connecting dots. Was this just a tragic moment in sports, or was there an underlying power shift happening right before our eyes? Basketball is ruthless. Women's basketball is even more ruthless, and competition at this level comes with high stakes. Injuries are part of the game, but some fans aren't buying that this one was just bad luck. Some are pointing fingers, questioning the circumstances, and asking if there's more to the story than we're being told. And then there's Clark's reaction. Was it a moment of sportsmanship, or was she using the situation to control the narrative? Because in the world of professional sports, perception is everything, and Clark knows that better than anyone. With Watkins' future now uncertain, the basketball world is watching closely. Will she make a full recovery, or has this injury changed her career forever? And what about Caitlin Clark? Whether intentional or not, she's now part of a major controversy, one that raises questions about competition, media influence, and the power dynamics in women's basketball. The truth is, this situation isn't as simple as it seems, and the next moves made by both players will determine how this story is remembered. One thing is for sure, this isn't over yet. Want to stay in the loop? Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you're always the first to know when a new video drops. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
One thing I'm going to tell you about the old WNBA fans or the new WNBA fans that are activists that have joined for the culture war.
Caitlin Clark thought she was doing the right thing. After JuJu Watkins went down, Clark sent out a message of support, short, respectful, and seemingly sincere. But instead of praise, she got something else entirely. Within minutes, the backlash began. The same people who have criticized her for months took her words and twisted them as they always do. Some called her fake. Others claimed she was making it all about herself. The internet wasn't interested in her good intentions, only in tearing her down. Clark is used to being hated on. No matter what she does, there's a crowd waiting to turn it against her. They call her overhyped. They question her every move. And now, they're claiming her post wasn't about Watkins at all. It was a PR stunt. Think about it. If Clark had said nothing, these same critics would have accused her of being cold and unsupportive. But when she did speak up, they still found a reason to attack. It's a lose-lose situation. And the worst part? This isn't the first time, and won't be her last.
I legitimately was like, is this just a tweet from a non-WNBA media member? Or is this just a troll, or what is it? But no, it's a WNBA media member who has been, again, who's been a credentialed journalist, invited things by WNBA.
This is bigger than one tweet. Every time Caitlin Clark is in the spotlight, the same cycle plays out. She dominates on the court. People say she's privileged. She celebrates a big win. People call her cocky. She shows sportsmanship. People say it's performative. No other player in women's basketball faces this level of scrutiny. Why? Some say it's because she's the face of the sport. Some people just call her the GOAT. Others believe it's something more personal. But one thing is clear, no matter what she does, it's never enough. Clark's critics aren't just casual basketball fans, they're relentless. They dig through interviews, old clips, and even body language, looking for anything to criticize. A delayed handshake? Proof she's a bad teammate. A confident post-game interview? Evidence she's full of herself. It's almost as if people are waiting for her to fail. And this latest backlash? It's just another example of how toxic the conversation around her has become. When JuJu Watkins went down, no mocking, no celebration, just concern for a fellow athlete. But when the roles were reversed, the reaction from certain WNBA fan circles was very different. This isn't speculation, it's a pattern. When Clark faced setbacks in the past, some so-called fans took it as an opportunity to celebrate. Not just ignore her pain, but actively mock it. It's one thing to root for your favorite player. It's another to take joy in someone else's struggles. And yet, when Clark has been injured, certain online communities have turned it into entertainment. Some users have openly cheered, while others have gone even further, turning her pain into a joke.
She gets 5 times the amount of viewers. She is responsible. I'm not joking when I say this. She was responsible last year for like 30% of all viewers and all attendance.
There are even claims that a live stream was dedicated to mocking one of her past injuries. Think about that for a second. An entire broadcast centered around making fun of an athlete getting hurt. If the situation were reversed, if Clark's fanbase acted this way toward another player, the outrage would be immediate. But for some reason, when it happens to Clark, it's brushed off as just part of the game. The question is, why? Why is it suddenly okay to treat her differently? Why is there no backlash when she's the one being torn down? The silence is telling. This isn't just about basketball, it's about the toxic double standard that's been growing around Clark's career. If she wins, people say she's overhyped. If she loses, they celebrate. And if she gets injured, they treat it like a joke. Meanwhile, Clark's own supporters have proven time and time again that they won't stoop to that level. When Watkins got hurt, there was no cheering, no insults, just genuine support. So the real question is, why can't everyone else do the same?
Saying Kathy and Caitlin Clark, get them out of here. I don't know how true that tweet is. I saw it as a quote tweet to reply. That might be false. That might be false. Because I can't find that actual tweet, but it is a screenshot. And she's gone at the commissioner. Why?
It wasn't enough for some people to just ignore her message. They had to attack it, turning an innocent show of sportsmanship into a so-called PR move. But let's be honest, this isn't about Clark's post. It's about something much bigger. If another player had posted the exact same message for Watkins, there wouldn't have been backlash. There wouldn't have been conspiracy theories or accusations of clout chasing. But because it was Clark, people had to find a way to turn it into a problem. This isn't just online drama, it's a targeted effort to control the narrative around her. When hate becomes the goal, there was a time when fans came together to support injured athletes, regardless of team rivalry. Now, social media is being weaponized to push negativity, and Clark is the perfect target. People who dislike her don't just want to see her fail, they want to define her. They want to take moments like this and spin them into something ugly. Because if they can convince enough people that Clark is the bad guy, they don't have to acknowledge what she's accomplished. Think about how many times Clark has been forced to explain herself, forced to justify her success, forced to deal with scrutiny that other players don't face. And yet, when she does something undeniably good, it's still not enough. Meanwhile, the same people who criticize her for making it about herself have no issue turning her pain into entertainment. They mock her injuries, celebrate her losses, and push narratives that would never be accepted if the roles were reversed. At what point do we admit the truth? This isn't just about basketball, it's about tearing someone down for the sake of it. This time, the outrage wasn't about what she said, but how she said it. One word, kid, was enough to send some people into a frenzy. And just like that, an innocent post became the latest so-called scandal. Clark is only 3 years older than Watkins. 3 years. Yet, somehow, calling her kid was seen as disrespectful. Comments flooded in, accusing her of being condescending. Some even acted like she was trying to establish some imaginary hierarchy, like a veteran looking down on a rookie. You're not a 20-year vet. Check yourself. That's what one person said. But let's be honest, would this even be a conversation if anyone else had used the same word? Let's talk about the real issue here. The same critics who were outraged over Clark saying kid seem to have no problem when male athletes use the exact same word. NBA players call younger players kid all the time. Coaches do it. Broadcasters do it. It's not a big deal until Caitlin Clark does it. And suddenly, it's an insult. Suddenly, it's a problem. It's almost like some people are just looking for reasons to be offended. If the roles were reversed, if Watkins had called Clark kid, would there be backlash? Would people rush to Twitter, dissecting every syllable and demanding an apology? Of course not. But because it was Clark, the reaction had to be different. The goal wasn't to have a discussion. It was to take another shot at her, to make her look bad over something ridiculously minor. And that's the pattern. No matter what Clark says or does, people will find a way to twist it into a negative. It started with a simple word, kid. But in today's social media landscape, even the most innocent language can be twisted into something controversial. Some critics took Caitlin Clark's message and forced it into a racial and cultural debate that didn't exist. According to them, calling JuJu Watkins kid wasn't just casual, it was offensive. They claimed it carried an unspoken power dynamic, as if Clark was looking down on Watkins. But was there any real basis for this? Or was this just another desperate attempt to villainize Clark? Let's break this down logically. If calling someone kid is so deeply offensive, then why has it been used for decades in sports with no issue? Coaches use it, players use it, commentators use it, yet, somehow, when Clark does, it's suddenly a coded insult. There's no consistency. And that's the biggest red flag. If this was really about the word, then we'd see the same outrage when male athletes use it. But we don't. The selective outrage makes it clear, this was never about a word. It was about Clark. It's not the first time Clark has been unfairly criticized. The second she started dominating women's basketball, the narrative shifted. People stopped talking about her skill and started looking for ways to discredit her. The truth is, some people just want to dislike her. Not because of anything she's done, but because of who she is. And some critics aren't even hiding it anymore. They openly suggest that Clark's race and sexuality make her an easy target. For a lot of them, it's her skin color and her preference. That's not a conspiracy, it's a pattern. And it explains why certain people keep reaching for controversy where there is none. If a single word can be twisted into a racial controversy, what happens next? Are we going to start analyzing her tone? Accusing her of blinking too many times during an interview? The truth is, Caitlin Clark isn't the problem. The problem is the people so desperate to bring her down that they'll manufacture outrage over anything. And if this is the best they've got, they're only proving one thing: she's winning. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We've got more in-depth stories and analysis coming your way, and you don't want to miss it. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the controversy? Let's keep the conversation going. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.